Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and Crimson Hawk Nation. Jake Slobodnik and Steve Langdon Jr. joining you once again for our first episode of the Crimson Conversion of the spring 2020 semester. And boy, what an off season it's been. IUP basketball has been on a tear, and honestly, we're glad to be back in session. But don't just take my word for it. Steve, how's it feel to be back on the screen?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. We're a couple weeks into the semester, but a lot's going on. A lot of stuff is going on with not only TPSN, but everything in general. So just be patient. Everything will come out in a timeable fashion, hopefully. But yeah, I'm ready. Hopefully, but I'm ready to get everything started back up this semester. And we still got, 13, 14 more weeks of the semester or something crazy like that. So
yeah,
plenty of content left to be distributed. But yeah.
Yeah, and before we get to the meat and potatoes, we want to thank you for tuning into all the documentaries that have been going on. We want to thank Sean Seaman for his work behind that. Steve's been involved heavily. Jeff and I, not so much. It's been more of a time conflict, but you got to give recognition where recognition's due. If you haven't seen those documentaries already, go ahead to our videos page on thepenn.org and check out Meet the Micah and Cross Court, 2 documentaries, one on swimming and one on tennis. It's pretty cool. Not going to give away too much, but it's been 2 good, solid documentaries. Steve, you worked close with it. How are they looking in your eyes?
I think they came out pretty good. There was a lot of work that went into it, a lot of scheduling. Unfortunately, people like you and Jeff couldn't be at all the practices and everything like that. I was barely able to make everything. I had to skip a couple classes here and there to try and film everything and help Sean out, but Sean did a fantastic job. Probably put a link in the description down below just so you guys can check them out. But yeah, they were absolutely fantastic to do. It was fun, talking to the athletes. I know all of us talked to Joanna Straka about her successful season in tennis, and they're going to have another successful season, I believe, once again this year, already receiving votes in the top 25. So very impressive documentaries in my opinion, but I don't want to be biased. I want you guys to give your thoughts and
leave us some
everything
feedback.
like that.
We're going to dissect men and women's IUP basketball going forward. Both teams looking pretty good. While I go get my phone because I forgot to look at the schedule, we'll take a short break and recognize our sponsors for this episode of the Crimson Conversion.
IUP Dining Services. Now offering an IUP Dining travel mug, you could pay just $40 for free refills all year long at select locations. For a full list of dining options and regulations, please visit iup.edu/dining.
Hemp Haven. Hemp Haven specializes in CBD products such as hemp seed soaps, CBD oil, pain salve, and teas, which can help with anxiety, pain, PTSD, MS, Parkinson's, and more. Hemp Haven's products are locally grown in Indiana County, and CBD gets you healthy, not high. Located at the Cabin 30 McLean Road in Indiana, stop by or call 724-599-7497. Oakland Hall Rentals. Are you searching for off-campus housing that is affordable and is just around the corner from IUP? If so, then look no further than Oakland Hall. It is the place for off-campus housing with prices as low as $2,500 per semester for studio-style rooms with a 2-semester lease. Located right next to the tennis courts and just a short block from campus. To schedule your tour today with Oakland Hall, call 724-717-6168. Welcome back to the Crimson Conversion. This is our first episode back of winter break. Jake Slobodnik, Steve Langdon Jr. joining you. Thank you to our sponsors for this video. Wouldn't be possible without you guys and your support. But Steve, speaking of support, the IUP Crimson Hawks basketball teams have really supported the good reputation of this university, especially in the off-season. And one team, notably, is the women's basketball team. Lots of question marks coming into the season, but they've proved all the naysayers wrong. Currently, we're recording this on February 4th, and that record today is 20-1. They are 15-0 in the PSAC. Their only loss coming to Glenville State. They've been on a mad tear, and it's been a balanced act from the women's basketball team.
Yeah, I would say so. There's a lot of key contributors to this team, especially players like Courtney Alexander, who I believe will be in the starting 5, it looks like, for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
Maria Serra was the true freshman, was starting a little bit, but after Alexander putting up fantastic performances, including several big games. She's been a three-point threat all season long. Between her and Natalie Myers, they are two of the best three-point shooters in not only the PSAC, but in Division II. And it's sensational. They're already on an 18-game win streak, which is already a school record, the way it is. And looking at the rest of their schedule, I think maybe the only team that could really stand a big chance is maybe Cal U, but at the same time, they haven't been the absolute best all season long. Now, Gannon has been very successful. They're currently second in the PSAC, but still 2 games behind the IUP Crimson Hawks. And overall, I think it's just it's IUP's season to lose at this point for the PSAC.
Yeah, pretty much. And, one of those contributing factors to IUP's success so far has been the fact that they've been rebounding opponents each game. Right now, they average at least almost 40 rebounds a game. That's on both sides. And that is definitely something because that means you're preventing opponents from putting up second chance points. It means you're giving your team more opportunities to go on offense and score. And then also they're finding great efficiency from the three-point line. You mentioned Courtney Alexander has had a great season so far. Natalie Myers herself shooting over 50% from three-point range, 26 steals as well on defense. So not only is Natalie Myers putting herself on the offensive side of things, but she's also doing it on the defensive side as well.
Yeah, the only thing I would like to see IUP change up is their turnovers. They've been giving up a lot of turnovers, it seems like, throughout the entire season. And the passing has been a little lackadaisical, and I feel as though the players are moving, but they're moving too much at some time.
Yeah.
You'll have 2 players that are crossing in, and you try and get it to one player, but then they're in a bit of a confusion.
Yeah.
You don't really know who's going to get the ball. And it's one of those things, and I think the turnover margin is the biggest thing that they need to cut down on. I think this is the only season since Coach Tom McConnell has been here that they have a negative turnover differential. I don't know if that's changed within the last 2 games, but I know
it's changed slightly. It went from -2 to -1.9. So.
But yeah, still -1.9
Yeah.
is not something that we're used to. We're used to a team that's in the plus territory, essentially in the green. This year in the red. Not very happy with that, but luckily for them, it hasn't killed them that much. And it's been the efficiency of the shooting.
Yep.
Sensational. I really can't say enough about the shooting this year. As a team, they're killing it. I don't really know how else to put it. And their defense has been sensational as well.
Well, moreover, the Crimson Hawks have looked pretty good. But I want to go back to what you're talking about on turnovers. I think the biggest contributor to that is they're looking to backdoor underneath, and sometimes they telegraph their passes a little bit too much. But to me, I'm going to defend this and say that we've sort of expected this coming into the season. There's going to be some miscommunication on offense here and there, just because it's pretty much a brand new squad.
Yeah, you lost 3 starters in the starting 5. That's huge the way it is.
Yeah, especially when they were major contributors to your point total and pretty much just your successful run altogether.
And then you had Mara Deanna was out the majority of last year. Now she's starting to play. She's playing, but as we saw in the last game against Mercyhurst, in which they won 73-59, Deanna came out. And Raja Fink went in, and she scored 20 points on the day.
I think that's her career high.
Off the bench, yes.
And that's the thing going forward. Though I'm glad you brought those 2 up because I actually had them on this, fact sheet right here. To me, Raja Fink is going to be the next 6-man up that's going to be on a hot streak for a while, and I think that right now Coach McConnell needs to capitalize on her hot streak, especially if they're able to defeat someone that's as big as a rival as Mercyhurst. Going forward, you need to utilize her more and more. And Mara Deanna, I'd use her more on crashing the boards, just because she hasn't been much of a point contributor this season, and I think that going forward, we see her ability to get open underneath, and that's pretty much all you need to do. If you can solidify one person to go down and get the boards, then that's going to be fine because then you have 4 people that can go out of security resources and you really take over on offense.
And what Deanna brings is size and strength.
Yep.
And whenever she comes out, Lexi Griggs essentially takes her spot. A little bit less size, but just about the same strength. And Lexi Griggs a little bit more athletic, can shoot from just about anywhere. Has developed a 3-point game this year as well. Been very, very impressed with her performance this year. A lot of inside passes that she's been able to collect.
Yeah.
A lot of points inside the paint has been strong for this IUP team. And I think moving forward, it's going to be relied upon Griggs, Myers, and Alexander.
Yep.
Because those have been the three key players all season long. Alexander started out on the bench and now is slowly transitioning into the point guard, I guess you could say. She's kind of been the primary ball handler now. Sarah can come out off the bench. She's going to give you, a little bit of skill, a little bit of trickery.
Got Justina Mascaro who can bring it down at times.
Yeah, Mascaro can shoot the 3-ball, but I look up and down this starting 5 right now, and I don't see too many weaknesses.
I don't either. Each player is pretty much a five-tool superstar. That's a little bit much. A 5-tool player, let's say that. They bring their own uniqueness to the game, and I think that's what's contributed so much. I mean, you got one loss on the season, and you got to remember, when we had Appleby, Wallachik, all those players, I don't think we've ever topped our winning streak, and we've ever held opponents to one loss this far in the season.
I think as far as everything is concerned, I think it's been all about the teamwork.
Yep.
The teamwork has been sensational. We're not relying upon one player, and we're not forcing up shots when we need to. We're just playing our own game.
Mm-hmm.
We might start out slow in the first half, but that's classic IUP. But at the same time, IUP is just dominating in the second half. They're one of the best second half teams in probably in Division 2.
Yeah.
And honestly, they could make a run. I don't know if they will, but they have the capabilities of making a strong run.
See, I have optimism. They could repeat as PSAC champs, and they could even make it farther than the previous years in the NCAA tournament, only because this spread-out offense and effective defense has brought a new name to how IUP women's basketball operates. And I think that opponents will see that and not be used to it because they're so used to to IUP going to one main shooter, having very vanilla play calling, and it's rinse and repeat essentially. And now you got this smorgasbord of what you can do on offense that opponents can't really catch on.
The only thing that's separating this team from being a good team into a great team has been the turnovers, and that's why I'm a little skeptical as far as that front goes.
That's understandable. I think that with the way things that we've been seeing so far, IUP women's basketball has what it takes to go far this season. I think they can make a repeat as PSAC champs. Over on the men's side, however, now here's where we get into the fun stuff. IUP men's has only 2 losses on the season. They just got their most recent loss against Mercyhurst, and right now they stand at, I believe, 18-2 on the season, 13-2 in the conference. Steve, I'm not going to lie, and this might be a hot take here. I'm shocked that they've done this well so far this season, but it's not because of anything negative. To me, you got to remember, there was an identity crisis at the beginning of the season because you lost Kobo, Willem, and Dante. You could throw Marco in there too because he was a big contributor, but I named those 3 because they were here for the longest time. Then they lost their major contributor in Demo Gerontis to an ACL injury. So they had to fill gaps. One of those gaps was taken by Ethan Porterfield, who's a freshman. Now, we'll get to him a little bit later, but when you stick a freshman into the starting 5, you think, oh no, this is where we collapse. This is where we start to look like the Pittsburgh Steelers whenever they were injury-ridden. But at the same time, well, not to mention, I also think PSAC men's basketball competition has been a little weaker this season. I don't know if you would agree, but I
mean, it's debatable. The one thing I will say is that I think this was a wake-up call. I think this was a strong wake-up call. I'm sure you were going to get to it at some point, but this is exactly what the men's team needed, in my opinion. They were on a strong win streak. They were dominating teams a little bit. They were pushing them around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now we went into Mercyhurst. We're like, oh crap.
Here we go.
Here we go again. It's good old Mercyhurst. And once again, they fell behind in the first half. They were not doing well at all in the first half. They gave up 40 points in the first half. They gave up only 28 in the second half.
Yeah.
Now they had 24 in the first half, and at the end of the game had 62. So they dominated Mercyhurst in the second half. I thought it wasn't even going to be close in the second half because of how bad they played in the first half. But once again, IUP struggling in the first half, and once again that kills them.
Yeah.
Biggest problem that Coach Lombardi has right now is cleaning up that first half performance. If they clean up that first half performance, they're great. And the key contributor in that game was Malik Miller.
Yep.
Because he did not do anything. I hate to say it, but he didn't do anything.
Sort of an oxymoron. He's a key contributor because he did nothing. But yeah,
he came off, granted, he came off of back-to-back career games. 27 points and 32 points. then kind of laid a goose egg against Mercyhurst, but
Everyone has a bad game now and then.
Everyone has their bad game. It's the players around them that have to pick them up. Unfortunately, it was too late, too late, and IUP loses, but they got a good old Slippery Rock this week, and I think they should be able to come away with a victory, and I think it's going to be another streak in which they go on a bit of a winning streak. Thank goodness we have already clinched our PSAC spot.
Yeah.
We already know we're in the playoffs. We already know we're going to be in the top 3 seeds at the very least.
And that was one thing I had on my sheet was that this loss at Mercyhurst, yeah, the Lakers are our Achilles heel. But at the same time, we're really playing for nothing other than the fact, just to win out.
We're playing for the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
At
and
this
we
point,
only have 2 losses.
At this point, we're playing for the number 1 seed. And 2, we're playing for a spot to host the Atlantic Regional, which we are still ahead.
Yeah.
1 loss did not kill us.
And that's
because we are still at least 1 game ahead in the Atlantic Regionals, which is crazy to even think about.
Yeah.
It's crazy to even think about both teams would come into this year and be the number 1 seed in the Atlantic Regionals. When you looked at these 2 teams in the beginning of the year, we looked at their ranking, we're like, no way. There's no way. There's no way. But then, of course, when you have good coaching, we see it all the time in sports. We just saw last weekend in the Super Bowl. Andy Reid, fantastic coach.
Yep.
You have Joe Lombardi and Coach McConnell, Coach Tom McConnell.
2 historic coaches coming through IUP basketball.
Fantastic coaches and have led these teams to absolute greatness. But like I said, we need Chucky back. We need Chucky back. And I think once Chucky comes back, it's going to be a little better.
I think so as well. And obviously injuries always throw a rift in your game plan. And
for those who don't know, Chucky Humphreys has a fractured hand. He was going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, but apparently he might be coming to practice pretty soon. I don't know.
I think he said he was trying to come back for this game.
Yeah, when I spoke to him last, he said he was going to try to come back for Slippery Rock. I don't know if he's going to be able to. I see him.
I'd give him a week.
I give him another week and a half. He'll be fine.
Yeah, and like I said, that throws a rift in your game plan, and I think this whole thing is caught IUP off guard, just with how they game plan. But to me, IUP, throw this loss against Mercyhurst over your shoulder. You always, it's a common theme. They're gonna give you a run for your money, but it's not the playoffs. This isn't a repeat of last year. You beat them in the championship, but you lost them in the Atlantic Regional. You lost them this year in the regular season. There is time to make it up. You only have 2 losses. You come into the KCAC this Saturday against Slippery Rock, and
in a whiteout.
Yeah, in a whiteout. All the students will be there. If not all the students, most of them will. Those ones that aren't going to show up are, I don't know, there's something else. But yeah, and honestly, like Steve said, it should just be a wake-up call. You got 2 real games left, one against Slippery Rock and then one against UPJ, which is the final regular season game of the year, a regular season game, and it's at home. So
yeah, in the last game, IUP won 100-93 at UPJ.
Yep.
So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm really excited. That's really the only competition that IUP, not to say competition, but the biggest contender to IUP in the West.
Yeah, and no pun intended, the ball is in your court. You determine how the season finishes. And I think with the way this team is put together, I seriously think they could make a strong run, and hopefully we can say next week, hey, we got the number 1 seed, or at least in a few weeks. But that'll do it here from the first episode back on the new semester. I've been Jake Slavonic along with Steve Lane Jr. Thank you to our sponsors for this episode. You guys are awesome. You should feel awesome, and we will see you guys every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. on the Penn.org and the Penn Sports Network YouTube channel. Don't forget to like us on Twitter at official_TPSN and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will see you next Thursday here on TPSN.